a second to check out my Patreon page, guys. Your support is really appreciated. Enjoy the tutorial. Hey guys, and welcome to the third Let's Code tutorial with Star Blaster. So basically, it's not the third, it's the fourth. Welcome to the fourth. I'm pretty sure it's the fourth. Anyway, fourth video, because that's what I meant. Basically, in this one, I'm going to show you how we're going to finish, well not finish, but like produce the results page of the Star Blaster. So you've just gone through your game, you've just finished, you know, time's up, all that stuff. Now it's time to actually show the user what their score was, give them a little message, maybe insult them a little bit, and then give them a couple of options whether or not they want to actually upload their score or whether they just want to skip and try again. So what I'm going to do, because this can be a bit of a pain in the butt to kind of put together and it can be time consuming and it's not really a big part of coding, it's just a big part of a pain in the arse really. So I'm going to actually put this code from the XAML style here onto the video description so that you can just kind of like copy and paste it in. I mean, you might have to change a couple bits. In fact, the only bit you should really have to change is the image source. That's providing, you know, you haven't followed my tutorial. If you follow the tutorial, then it won't be a problem. So basically what I've done is I've made this grid which I've collapsed at the moment. So if I make it visible, this this grid goes right over the entire page, and it's obviously on top of everything else, so that it will always end up on top of the canvas and everything, you know how it is. But when it's collapsed, it won't effectively be on the screen at all. So although it is still there, it's just collapsed, it won't stop you tapping through to the game. So what we've got in this grid is I've named the grid results grid. Now the reason I put everything in a grid is firstly because you can put a background or an image or whatever on it and cover over the page, but also because you can then set its visibility and you can make all of this stuff appear or disappear with just one line of code. So that's kind of the fun part here. So what I've got first of all is I've got the results title text. This is like basically I've just put times up and then the player's name. So we're going to insert from the isolated storage system the user's name, which we know we got before because we even made a string to make this easier. Then I added a results message text. I added this just because, you know, it's a nice little feature and also it shows some different aspects of coding. It will basically be a message which will be generated depending on what your score is. So you'll be able to play the game a couple of times yourself, work out what kind of scores are good and what scores are bad, and then write a message for each boundary, if that makes sense. So like between 0 and 20 is a score, you know, you'll send them one type of message. I've just kind of gone from 0, 20 up to 60 and above, and I haven't obviously tested mine to see, you know, what it wants to be because I haven't actually put it onto my phone yet. So then we've got the results score label. That doesn't change, so there's nothing going to be changing about that. I've put the logo in the backing of the grid, just literally on there, and I've just set it like 30% of its visibility just so that it kind of looks a bit cooler. Otherwise it could just be a bit plain and grey and boring. So it's just to make it look a little bit better. Then I've done the results score total text, which is quite a long name, but basically that's just the amount that they've actually made, the amount they've actually done during the game. I've obviously, as you can see, put some default information into all of these just so that I can kind of position them and get them. I mean, I wrote crazy long name because I can't imagine many people have a name longer than that. So providing that could fit in, I thought that just about any name would fit in, providing no one puts their full frickin' name in. And then other than that, we've just got a skip button and an upload button. But as I'm saying, all of this will come through in the description of this video so that you can just kind of copy it all in. I mean, there's no events yet on this upload score and there's no event on the skip button, but we'll do that in the next video because obviously that's going to be using the isolated storage to store a score. We have to set up the high scores page and we have to do the PHP communications to a database, which some of you might not do depending if you have your own server or not. Okay, so if I make that back to collapsed, if you don't collapse it, then when you start the game it will already be there and it won't make any sense. You won't be able to play the game either because it will be in the way. So just make sure you collapse that before you run the application. Then on the coding side of things, all we've done is we have, down here a little bit, I've added on the end of the game timer, when the game ends, I've added to populate results. Now The populate results is a new little function I've written, which has got a few little bits in it. So the first is a little bit of text to tell you what's going on. So this is where we're going to set the text and the stuffs, and then this is the bit where we're going to actually make the grid appear. So here we've got the results title text. We're going to have it say times up, a space, then just there, out, or just take it out, and then the user's name, which we know we're setting back up here because we did that on the initializing of the page. So we've done that, and then I've done the results message.text, and I've made that equal to comment with the brackets around it. Now what that actually is that is another function which I've written, which I'll quickly refer to. And what we have here is, rather than it just being a little function that runs and nothing really happens from it, this will actually bring back a string. So it's a private string here, and it says comment. So we make a string inside here called result comment, and we start it to be blank because we know that there is always going to be an outcome. And then at the very bottom of the application, after all the code has run through whether or not it matches or doesn't match the if statements, it will return the resulting comment. So when I'm doing results message text or text, and I'm equaling it to the comment, it will output either of these lines here. So there's 4 possibilities at the moment for what I've done, and it will put the string in for us. So I've got between 0 and 20, you know, you've got one line, then I've got 20 to 40, 40 to 60, and then 60 and above. So they're just kind of like a nice little customization. They open up the ability for you to do something different. You could kind of do different boundaries. Maybe you could have images that are coming up if you didn't want to have text come up. Maybe different. You could have sound effects depending on the results. But anyway. Then we're also doing the results score total text, which is the big number in the middle, which is basically just the amount they've totally got throughout the app. And finally, we're making the grid visible. So we're literally just, once we've written all the information to the text blocks that we've got in there, there's no point in making it visible until the information's actually there. So we're putting all the information into all of these hidden text blocks, and then we're just making the whole thing visible. So if we run the emulator, hopefully we will see that this works. Okay, so same as always, enter our username and tap to begin. Now I want to try and get the maximum message, so I'm gonna hopefully beat my score. I got 60 earlier. Feel free to just skip this part of the video because it could end up going catastrophically wrong. Oh no. I'm sure this is a lot easier if you do it on the phone. It's kind of really confusing. Oh no, come on. Oh, for crying out loud. Well, anyway, what message did we get? So my score was 59, which we know was more than 40 and less than 60. So we got the great job, you blasted them stars. So we know that the scores are working on here. We know that we're getting the right message. So as you can see, the first thing that happened was it populated my name. So times up and then my name. We've got our little message come through here. And then we've got the score that I accumulated across the game. And obviously we can't keep playing because this is now in the way. The canvas was cleared anyway. It's cool, that's what we wanted. And then we've just got our skip and upload score buttons, which we're going to actually make work in the next video. So I hope that was easy to understand. It should be quite a quick one if you guys are following them and you are building the app. Then it should be an easy one for you to do because I am going to give you obviously most of the XAML side of things, so you won't have to faff around with this layout and everything because, you know, obviously you want to center the messages and make it look reasonably presentable. So yeah, that's the end of this video, I guess. That felt awfully quick, and I won't know until I've ended it if that was quick or not, because I don't really pay attention to time. But yeah, so I just want to make sure that you did get all of the information here. So you just want to make sure you get all these if statements. I'm using if and if else. So we're saying if it is 0 to 20, and if it isn't, then it will say else if it is this one or this one. So basically it's going to run through them until it finds out whether or not, or which one it actually belongs in. You know, it will always find the right one. If it ends here, then it won't go to the next one because there'll be no need for the else. And then yeah, just got our populate results here. And the only other bit that we changed was this bit here. We didn't really change it, we just added the populate results because that is what causes the chain effect all the way down these two little functions here. So that's the end of this fourth. I think it's fourth still. If it's not the fourth, then I feel a bit stupid. But yeah, so that's the end of the fourth Let's Code Star Blasters. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, Twitter, I don't really know, Patreon. I'm not really all here right now. But anyway, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.